Oh.
Shenae was in our Right Now. We did Right Now once before, kind of as a test beta, like who wants to test this out? And Shenae was like, I do. And then she joined. So I just wanted to let people meet you and find out a little bit more about your screenplay, which I have to say, so last year we were sharing pages and I did read quite a bit I read kind of your first act, I believe, right? Does that
Yes.
make sense? Yeah. And just was so enamored with her characters are so genuine. And then later she kind of revealed that it was kind of a story from your life, right? Basically.
Yes.
And I could totally see it. It made me laugh out loud many times. It's just really, really fun. So tell us a little bit about your background of writing and where you got into it. Is this your first screenplay or where are you at with that?
So actually, this isn't my first screenplay. It's the first one that I finished. But I've started it many times. It was just a hobby. I used it as therapy. It's in my writing, and that's how I kept going. I began script reader, and I was learning how to read a script. And you guys mentioned, okay, you guys can read scripts. Now you can write them. And that's how I started doing Right Now. Unfortunately, last year I suffered a loss. My boyfriend passed suddenly, and I used that lesson in life as my script. So my script is about a woman who is trying to find her life. She meets a guy, and it's my life. So I don't want to spoil it, but pretty much you see what happens, and it's her journey. And when I joined Right Now, writing one page a day really encouraged me to keep writing. I didn't write one page a day, but eventually I got it finished within the same year. So that's a huge accomplishment for me. And I really love the course.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it is that thing of, it's just the mindset of starting to think about it as one page a day. And then because typically when you sit down to write, you write more than one pages. Typically people write usually 3 to 5, sometimes even more pages. So it's not necessarily that you have to write one page every day. It can kind of give and take, but there's something about the mindset of one page a day to me that just makes it doable in a weird way. And then for you too, because I knew you were going through that, but you also show up, like, you're here right now. So Shenae's a big one that shows up. And you've just been a delight in both our programs. It's been so fun to have you there. And you're someone that's always showing up. And even with going through a lot, you still just have just acceptance about you, a surrender, and just a way that you handle life that's so inspiring and engaging. And it's just so much fun to have you in the programs. What was your biggest surprise about the Right Now program when you came into it?
Meeting other people. Another thing that encouraged me is it was different groups who would reach out, and people were like, I'm struggling. I'm doing a 9 to 5. I don't have time to write. And we would meet up times where we would just say, hey, how's everybody's day? All right, turn off your mic, turn off your camera, and write. And so it was the kind of accountability partners that I loved about the course.
Right. And we, I haven't even said this. I don't even think I said this in the workshop, but we have a Zoom room that you guys can use. So if you want to all meet together, we have a Zoom account just for that, in case someone doesn't have. Sometimes someone has their own, but because sometimes people's Zoom account if you have the free one, only goes for 30 minutes. So we have one that we sponsor so that you guys can use it and set up meetings if you want to too. It's another way that you can form groups and write together. So the group is everything. It's so great, right? So much fun. So what's your next step?
My next step is to keep writing. I'm going to
next step.
Right, keep writing, don't stop.
It's mine too.
I'm going to reread my script, rewrite it, drum up some courage from somewhere, and share it with a few people.
Well, I told her, like, we were kind of talking before this started. It's like, drum up some courage from somewhere. It's so funny. One time I was doing an event and we were raising money, and someone was saying no one's going to come and blah blah blah. And someone piped in and it goes, the money will come from wherever it is now. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to live my life that way. The courage will come from wherever it is.
It is.
It'll come. And then, for all of my panelists here and all of y'all that finish your screenplays, you have each other. So definitely reach out to the Screen Reader program, or if you want to put it in the writer's room, you have that. available to you, there's that too. So the writer's room is something we have inside of our screen reader program where people that are writers can share their script. But, for all of y'all that want to read each other's screenplays, and I recommend this one, it's really fun. I'm curious to see how it all goes for you because it was such a personal experience, and her protagonist is so relatable. She's funny. She's a bit of a mess in the beginning, and she's so heartwarming, and you just feel for her immediately. She's trying to get out there, and she hasn't been out with people for a while, so she's super awkward, and it's lovely. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing where it all goes. So have the courage. I just here now you have it. I gave it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's good. So awesome. So lovely to talk to you. Everybody say hi to Shenae, and then I'm going to put you backstage, and then I'm going to bring Heather on, and then Gary, and then we'll all come on together, and you guys can ask questions of whoever you want to have questions for. All right? Okay, thanks. All right, Miss Heather, let's do this. Hey, my friend, how are you? Wait, you're muted. Hold on, let me unmute you. Or I think you might have to unmute yourself. There we go. I got you, boo. Oh, no, you have to do it. You see the little, there's a little, oh, maybe I can do it this way. Hold on. Can't unmute.
I think I got it.
There we go. We got it. We're on it. No problem.
Awesome.
Hey there. How are you, my friend?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. And Heather's another joy in our programs as well. She shows up too. This is group of people that show up, which is so important, right? So tell me about your screenplay. What are you writing about? What's it about? I mean, I know, but tell everybody else.
So my screenplay is a story about a surgeon who his nephew dies on his operating table, and then his confidence and his career just kind of take a nosedive after that. And so he has an opportunity to help a singer who's going on tour who has to manage a health condition. And so he goes with her, kind of in an attempt to gain his confidence back and hopefully his career before it completely is derailed.
Isn't that a great premise? It's so unusual. And it's been really fun with Heather because I think I mentioned this in one of the sessions, but I have a lot of musicians in my life. And so I know the touring world really well. And I complain quite a bit that no one really captures it, but she's capturing it pretty well here. It's she's got it down in terms of what happens backstage. And so it's been really fun. But one of the fun stories that I want to tell about Heather, and you can kind of fill me in because I'm not exactly sure on all the details, but she wrote her first 10 pages and then entered those 10 pages into a contest. And she wasn't even done with the screenplay yet. And she entered the 10 pages. And tell us what that was and what happened with that.
So I'm highly deadline driven. I learned that during this course. So should have known that about myself, but with writing I am. So getting through those first 10 pages in the course, and that's the only reason I managed to knock those 10 pages out. But it kind of gave me the confidence to submit them to a script development contest where it was based on the treatment or the first 10 pages. And I just kept writing, figured, well, whatever happens, at least it kind of gave me some motivation to keep going. And I ended up placing in the top 15 finalists with my first 10 pages. So.
First 10 pages, we're at the gate. And, she's also in our screen reader program. So we were kind of saying when with our screen readers, we're always saying you can find a niche of something that you're good at. And then we're the first 10 pages now, that could be something that you help people with as a reader too, that's the other thing about combining these programs is that they can go back and forth. What you learn as a writer, you can use as your reader skill. And obviously your reader skills are going to really help you write. So congrats on that. That's so exciting. So what a funny contest. And what are some of the what did they give you when you were?
So I just ended, because I was just a finalist, I became a group. I got to join a private group of all the other finalists.
Yeah.
But if you go on to win the contest, there's massive help in actually, meetings and stuff. So there's actual meetings involved in that. But just joining another community of people who are finalists was kind of a big deal. And mostly it just motivated me because it was my first screenplay. So
good. Your first one out the gate, she's like, I got this. Boom. It's so much fun. And it's so good too, because when you do meet other writers that are actually doing things and making happen and entering things, it's a different mindset than it is when you meet people that say they want a screenplay or a dabbling or whatever. People are doing it like that. It's just really good to get in those groups. And the other thing that's kind of cool about a contest like that is, especially since you were a finalist there, it could be that you are like well, obviously you are a really good at openings, which is a total gift. And so, being able to maybe send in, more entries of your first 10 pages can help you decide what to write next. So you don't even necessarily have to have the whole screenplay. You can send those first 10 pages and see if it resonates. And that can help you determine, what you want to write. It's kind of cool. It's a good idea.
It is. Yeah. It was a fun boost that I think I needed. But
Really
wouldn't
fun.
have gotten through it without this course. It would have taken me 6 months to write 10 pages. So it never would have happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you definitely show up, and it's also a really interesting premise, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And what was your most surprising thing when you joined the Right Now program? What was?
Probably that I learned so quickly how deadline driven I am, but also I think I'd been reading. I was going into my second year reading, actually professionally reading. So I'd been doing that. So I don't know why it just flips everything on its head to actually come in as a writer. And I've written novels before, but it's such a different beast,
Sure.
so different. So coming in to the course and realizing how much having some resources that can help you troubleshoot when something's not working, whether it's the entire scene, something's off, or whether it's dialogue, whether the character development's not coming through, but having resources that you can go to break down and say, okay, I can tell something's off. I know, because I'm a reader, I know what's off. How do I fix it? Those resources changed everything for me. I still pull those out today and use them.
So great.
That surprised me. Yeah.
That is surprising to me too, actually. And I love that that it unearthed in a way, because it's probably something that was kind of hidden, and now it's there, and now and now that so now it's just like I keep saying this to everybody, that writing a screenplay changes your life, because it is like, now that about yourself. Now moving forward, it's going to be so much easier to kind of get things done, to plan things ahead, to do all this. Now that okay, wait a minute, let's figure out a way to set a deadline. And I would use contests are one of the best ways to set deadlines, for sure. So I would get, you're going to enter, and we're going to make this pact right now.
Yeah.
But you're going to enter the Austin Film Festival with your full script this year.
Oh, that'd be, yeah.
I'm raising the bar for you right now, because you have a couple of months. You can do this.
Yeah.
Let's get it in there.
It's been a goal anyway. So I needed an accountability buddy.
All right. I got you. We'll be in Goal Getters. So in Goal Getters, I'll be like, because she's an Insider Track, so she goes to Goal Getters. So yeah. All right. we're gonna hold you to it.
It's a deal.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. So now, thank you, Heather. It's always such a delight to have you in all the things that we do. It was exciting.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So now we're going to get Gary in here. Hey, my friend. What up? What time is it?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? It's 6:30. And it's like one of the coldest Januaries ever.
Really?
It's like freezing. Yes. So yes.
I'm in New York, as most of you know, and I'm looking out my window. I'm going to post a picture later. It's total West Side Story view out my window. Fire escapes.
Is it fun, or is it scary?
No. Oh, it's cold, but it's not bad. It's sunny.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So Gary has a really interesting story. Gary and I together have an interesting story. Tell, Gary. Tell your story
Which story?
I know. Where do we begin? So start with how you found the Right Now program, which is basically how you found the screenwriter program, I guess.
Yeah. So I found the Insider Track and the reading course first. So yeah, I was on a thing. I've been interested in selling my own courses, and so Carolyn was a guest in another program which was run by Jeff Walker, and I was like, "Ooh, I want in on that," because that's like, they were called Hollywood Gatekeepers, and so I was like going to just get to know them, and so I googled, and I said that this is what I want to do. I wanted to do courses to help people write screenplays, and then I heard about what you guys do. And then I got involved in that, and I just got involved in that because I wanted to get to know you. And then I started looking at the course, and the course was so detailed and so kind of all of this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is really good. And and that was a lot of fun and doing that. And then I kept on kind of going back to it. And then last year, I did Right Now, and we did it with a group of people, and it was interesting. It was fun. I kind of tapped out a little bit because of exhaustion and time difference and stuff, and but yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, I've been writing kind of my own projects and stuff ever since. So
Gary's what I call a writer. So Gary writes, like he writes screenplays. It's great for him to be in the Right Now course, but he is out there doing it, writing screenplays, pitching screenplays, making it happen. And the program that he's referring to where we met was Jeff Walker's product launch formula. It was about how to run an online business kind of thing. And I remember him in there because I remember Gary and I have talked about this many times, but where he was saying, I want to do something, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And he was talking about how you want to do something in the film industry. And all the wonk people came out of the woodworks going like, no, you can't do that. All these people that had nothing to do with the film industry were like, no, you can't do that. You can't do something unless you're, won an Oscar and blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was like, trying to break through the noise. I was like, hold on. Yeah, I'll sit down.
And there's a guy on one of the example videos, like he teaches tennis online, and I'm like,
right. It's like
how do you can teach anything?
There's a person that teaches like horse dressing. It's really like, or someone that makes literally, this is not an exaggeration. She makes millions of dollars teaching how to make door hangers. So it's like, it's a fascinating group of people for sure. But when people that weren't in the industry were knocking him and saying like, you can't do this if you're not in the industry, if you're not like making movies. I'm like, no. And that's same as true as you'll see that you guys that are readers, well, writers too, you'll see like people will say like, well, you can't be a reader. I don't want anyone reading my screenplay unless they've won an Oscar or something. And it's like, well, those people are making their movies. There are, and I always like, and this is the best way I can describe it, as a vocal coach. Like a vocal coach works with a pop star. A vocal coach is not a pop star. They are working. So that's what we are doing.
And the other thing is, if you give your screenplay to a random friend who's also a reader, they probably know someone who's won an Oscar, and it can, if you can lead it, you can follow the trail, and kind of say, it's interesting. It's so
and that's a beautiful example of how Gary's mind works. And so Gary, he's one of the best networkers I've ever seen in terms of how he's a connector at his core. He can't not connect to another person. And so we ended up sort of getting to know, he became an intern in our program. That's how I got to know him. And then now we're going to be hosting our podcast together.
It's very exciting.
So, and that will drop next week. We've already recorded the month of January. We were going to drop it the first week, but realized that so much is happening here with the challenge that the podcast it's already recorded, and you'll get the first 2 episodes.
Recorded in Austin, live, just saying. In the warm weather.
We met in Austin at the Austin Film Festival, met in person for the first time. Found a little corner, like it was really perfectly in the hotel, and just recorded a couple of episodes. So you guys will be able to see that. And then Gary's he's writing. He specializes in rom-coms.
I'm working with a comedy producer at the moment, and I wrote a pilot, which was I've spent the last 7 years looking after my mum who had Alzheimer's. So I wrote, of course, a pilot about that. It was a half-hour kind of comedy drama, and now I'm working with a comedy producer on that script, and we've decided that that's going to be an hour-long drama. So that's now like a 4-part series. So I'm redeveloping that, but it feels very new because it's so different. So that's the current script I'm working on, but it's really interesting working with another producer, on something I've only worked with script editors before rather than, so it's been interesting and lots of different ways of working. So
I love the example that you're giving of the medium changing like that. The way that Gary's mind works and connection also works in terms of just getting it done, like figuring out a way. Okay, if it's not a comedy, maybe it's a drama. Okay, if it's not this, maybe it's that. And he took care of his mom through the end of her life with Alzheimer's and developed a documentary, but instead of
film installation,
the installation as he calls it, because it wasn't an installation to begin with, was it, or was it?
I think it always was, because I get funding from Arts Council, so
you initially envisioned it that way.
They don't fund film, but they fund artists, film and video, and so I'm always careful to be like, it's a film installation. It's going to be when you walk into a gallery and you see these 3 screens. And what happened was actually, that's kind of interesting, because I didn't even occur to me. But I started, editing this film while I was still being a carer for my mum. And so, but then my laptop kept crashing. It was like Adobe Premiere, and it wouldn't let me edit anything because it kept on crashing. And I literally had to hand it over to someone else to help me produce and edit this film. And because it didn't even occur to me that would be like a hard thing to do, was to be making a film about the thing that I was doing at the time.
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of weird, but and again, working with another producer on that.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just a tour of the UK, which has been really exciting.
Yeah. So the thing I want to point out to everyone is most people will be like, I'm going to do this documentary feature, and then struggle to try to get it made and get it out there and everything. But instead, he goes and gets a grant. First of all, we're going to do a whole topic on that, on finding money. He finds a grant to pay for it, and then it goes into a museum and installation. So it breaks down the story. So you walk. I mean, I want to see it. You like go through the installation and you see pieces of the story come together, right? And now that thing's on tour, right?
Yeah, it completed the tour sort of last year. So yeah, that's been funded 3 times now. So and we're waiting to hear for another grant with the same thing.
It's writing grants to get it in more places, right? So he's such a good example of like, you just do the thing, right? It's like there's no magic to it. It is magical. It's magical that his laptop wouldn't work, and then that helped him. Like these things are magical to me. It's magical that we're here right now together talking about it. Like that's the magic. It's not like, but it really is just about the reason this is working because we all showed up. Like it really is so about that. So good.
And I had so many things about, should I go to Austin? Should I not go to Austin? And then we decided we're going to record the podcast. So okay, I'm definitely going to Austin. So it was really cool. And it's the first time I've been to that festival, and I've already got my conference badge for this year. So
So great. Yeah. So and it was just so much fun. We got together with several screen readers while we were there. Next year, hopefully it was very impromptu this year because it's just kind of testing the waters. So hopefully next year or this year, I guess we'll be more intentional about all of it. So as you can see, it's like, I wanted to bring these panelists on. I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody on here. Hang on. There's the gang. I wanted to bring these panelists on so that you all could see, like, everybody's just, doing their thing, right? And it's just everyone's story is a little bit different, but the one thing they really have in common is that they show up. They show up and do it. And I often in my courses or whatever, I'll say, like, hey, I'm going to give you the top secret of what every Oscar winner does to get their screenplay to win their Oscar. And the answer is that they write. It's like it's not rocket science. It is like there are so many things once you start writing that screenplay, and as you've seen here, like so many different ways, so many things you can do. There's so much to it. And then when you go make a movie, and like, when we did You Can't Run Forever, like we've learned so much about it, and there's so many things that we'll share. I'll share kind of the process. We haven't really done that yet. We've had just amazing time bringing guests in and talking about that. And then, being able to share my experience with the director, who's just unbelievably talented and just like blows my mind on the daily basis, and being able to work with such amazing people. But it really is just about the power of showing up. Like that's what we're doing here. And that's what these people are doing in their own ways. So let me see, you guys have any questions for anyone? Sheree wants you to bring your installation to the US. Start looking for the
right. Well, the next thing is we've done the application to do a few in-person writing workshops and then to put it online, but make it a resource as well, rather than just like put it online. So then hopefully a lot more people see it.
That would be interesting. I kind of want to see it like in person,
in a space.
I want to walk through it. That's the thing that's
yeah,
so much fun. Wait, this chat's going pretty fast. Let me see. Hold on.
Canada is on my list. John is saying Canada. Canada is definitely on my list.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Awesome. Okay. It's weird because now Facebook has this thing where when you guys comment on each other, it's like layers. So it's a little bit hard for me to see questions. So let me know, you guys, if you have any questions for any of these panelists. People are saying, thank you, Heather. Thanks for your feedback. Good luck with the competition.
What contest did you enter? Someone is asking.
She did the first 10 pages.
Yeah, it was the Shore Script Development Fund.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, and then we made a pact that she's going to enter Austin this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, doing it.
Well, so my thing is, do I get notes from Austin before I send? I've got a feature script that I think is really good. So do I get notes like from Austin now and then send a rewrite in?
Oh, I don't know. Ask Grace.
Yeah.
We need Grace to come back. So Grace is the, that's a good question. It's an interesting way to look at it. Gary's brain, I swear. Well,
I say the same thing.
we're going to have, Grace is the conference director for the, what am I trying to say? She's the script manager for the festival. So, I mean, she's been a guest many times. We'll have her back in again because she uses our readers. So and maybe we don't really have guests too much in the Right Now program because we have so much to do that, we're like working so hard that we don't really just hang out and talk like this. But we'll definitely be, have her in the Insider Track program, and we can ask her that question. It's a good one. Jonathan is asking, hey, Jonathan, where do you publish a screenplay after writing it? I imagine it's not through a publishing company. Yeah, you don't really publish a screenplay. You can, I guess. You can put it on Amazon if you want to, but it's more that you submit. So, like Gary's, like, where's some of the, so like, what's the name again, Heather, of the place where you submitted your screenplay?
It was the Shore Scripts, SHORE, Shore Scripts, Script Development Fund. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I agree. The screenplay is not a finished product. The screenplay is the first step in what potentially, hopefully, becomes a feature film or a TV show, whatever. So the script is just something you're going to use as a tool and a resource. And as a writer, that's your job, is to get it that far, and then everybody else takes over. So yeah,
it's a blueprint, basically.
Yes.
It's a map of where we're going to go next, for sure. Yeah. So Jonathan, you don't really submit it to a publishing company or anything like that. You basically finish it. You get a reader, take a look at it, and then you start, like Shenae is going to do, right, Shenae?
Yes.
So you get a reader to take a look at it, and then you do a draft, and then submit it to contests is a really great way to meet people, to, get feedback on it. Many contests will give you, many of our readers work for contests, and they can, give you feedback on it.
That, if I can add this really quick, when I submitted mine, it was optional to obtain like a coverage and reader feedback, and I did that as well, and it was really helpful. It did show me where my strengths were, and it did kind of show me, okay, this stuff specifically is working in that first 10 pages, that the tone that these things need to carry through, or I'm going to drop off and lose somebody, so it is helpful. But reader feedback always. Yeah. However you're going to get it. And that just helps you polish a script so that potentially you can get it into the hands of somebody, that now you have a product that's ready, so that when opportunity and hard work meet, that you've got a product that they want to take it and run with it. Yeah.
Well put. Very well put. Exactly right. Exactly. Yeah. Nicely done. Connie's asking, how can we read work? Here we go, Shenae. Connie is asking, how can we read working screenplays or other writings from today's guests?
Oh, awesome. We can post them in Facebook, correct?
Yeah. So go into the Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group. Okay. Well, let me think. If you're, Connie, are you in Insider Track? I can't remember. I'm sorry, off the top of my head. Let's start with Insider Track. If you're in there, we can put it. Let's start with Insider Track, because the Gatekeepers group is a little wild west. So there's a lot of people. It's like 13,000 people in there, so things can get a little bit lost in there. But let's try it in the Insider Track first, and then because those are actual readers in there too. And then, Connie, I think you're in that program. Sorry that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Let me know, and then we'll go from there. Here's a great question. Amis is asking, did you experience writer's block, and how did you get over it? Anybody have any tips for that?
Keep writing. Even if it's not pertaining to the script, just pick up a pen and write. Eventually, you'll get back to the story.
Yeah, really good. Anyone else?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it exists, because you have to write to get over it. So, but yeah, writing something else is often a good way. Actually, kind of just thinking about stuff as well. It's for a couple of days, putting something away for a couple of days is quite good, and just going back to it.
Yeah.
I will typically skip ahead to a part of the story I'm excited about. If I have a scene that's really exciting, I will skip, and just, even if I'm just making notes about the scene, about the tone and what needs to happen, maybe working through the scene builder or something to get that. It usually motivates me enough, or gets my brain working in different ways. But usually writer's block for me means something was wrong 3 pages ago or 5 scenes ago, and I need to backtrack. And I'll take my scenes that I have that I don't want to lose, because I end up with analysis paralysis. Carolyn's familiar. She taught me that favorite term. But I end up with that. So I will take and cut the scene out so that I don't see it and I can kind of start fresh, but I will put it in my scene graveyard document. So I feel like it's safe if I need to go revisit or review it. It's not gone forever, but it's away. And I go back and fix what was wrong pages before. Usually that's the problem for me.
It's so good. Scenes graveyard, where good scenes go to
That's
die.
sad.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
Also,
Bad scenes die, good scenes get like reanimated
Yeah.
later. But, yeah.
I did do that with my feature. The cut scenes was like 50-page document. So it's like,
So great. I love it.
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
that's on track.
Carolyn gives us a journal. So
Mhm.
for each day, if you use those prompts, and sometimes it's not about the script, but if you use those prompts, it'll get you back.
Yeah, it'll help you, like, because it is really, it was spectacular how on day 45 everybody's like, I can't do this. It really was like people were freaking out in the group, and I was like, you guys are so beautifully right on time. This is exactly where you should be. Like, nope, I'm going to write something else. I'm going to move on halfway through your script. We call it the river of misery, the valley of despair. There's all kinds of words for it, and it's this moment, where you're just, in the screenplay could be called a fork in the road. It's where you suddenly are having trouble and you just want to do something else. So I don't, like Gary, I don't believe that writer's block is a thing. I think it's just it's kind of a way that we can label something, so that gives us, I have writer's block, I guess I can't do it. It gives us a reason not to do something. Whereas if you just look at it as like, yeah, the ideas aren't coming the way I want them to or think they should or whatever. It's 95% your brain. All the problems are right here. Whether you have a structural problem, story issues, that kind of thing, but really the problem is that your mind is coming up with reasons. So if you find your writer's block, to me, can sneak up to you. The only way that I might couch it as writer's block is if you start doing weird, ridiculous things, and instead of writing, you set this time aside to write, but instead you're going to organize your sock drawer. Like that's writer's block, is when it's like, it's not the sitting at the page wondering what to write, especially now with so many AI tools, or having a journal or something. Just start writing, and then you can like get through it for sure. Yeah.
I think sometimes too that it might be that you're trying to force something in the story that's not right for the story or the characters, and you're not willing to accept it. So you might spend a few scenes or a few days realizing and accepting that, and then course correcting, pivoting. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. So Jonathan, how do you get a job as a reader? So we're talking more about writing today. Let me come back to that after the panel's done, and I'll talk. A lot of people have been asking reading questions, so I'll talk about being a reader when after the panel. Yeah, we teach how to do it in our course for sure. Yeah, Sheree can help you out there, Stacy, if you're having trouble with logging in, whatever. Your sock drawer. I'm putting sock drawer on my task list. I love it. Oh, I love this. Wait, and it went away. Who said that? Oh, Cindy. I can't wait to get writer's block. That means I'm a real writer. So much.
It is a qualifier.
It's a qualifier. Honor says I'm going to make a murder wall and a scene graveyard. Because we talked about using 3x5 cards like a murder wall. Like you 3x5 cards up all over your wall, just like you're in, your Sherlock Holmes, and you just step back and look at your.
It could look like an 80s slasher movie at my house real fast. Like, yeah.
Oh, these are so great. Let me see. I'm not seeing anybody else have any other questions about. Did you guys file your scripts with WGA? Do you typically do that? I typically do that. It's kind of a personal choice. Do you guys do that?
I plan to. I haven't yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
So
it's really simple, and it's like $25 or something. And it just means that you do it either WGA East or West, and it's a little form you fill out. It's kind of cool. They send you a little certificate, and it says kind of the name of the script, when you submitted it, and your name. It's a way to track that it's your work. So like we did it with Following Fireflies, because we wanted to make sure that it was registered of just the three of us, because we already were having so many people come on board that we wanted to make sure that the idea and everything was registered with just the three of us. So we did that to clarify. And so it's something that I recommend for people. Very easy. Oh yeah. Sorry, Stacy. Stacy's been enrolling for a lot of things, and she's getting bombarded with emails. And that might be true for you guys that win these prizes. I should preface that with, you're going to get all the welcome emails and stuff of these prizes along with the emails that we're doing. So I apologize for that. I don't know that there's a way. Just know that, don't worry, we'll sort it out with you, and apologize for it. So don't unsubscribe to things, because we'll make sure that we start tagging you correctly so that you don't get all that stuff. It's going to be a little bumpy for a couple of days, and then we'll work it out with you. Don't worry. Awesome. Just Googled. Yeah, so good, you guys. So you guys have any advice for everyone that's considering the Right Now program, or considering writing their screenplay, or is like trying to, get doing it? Oh, and by the way, Cindy, you're already a real writer. I just want to throw that in there. But yeah, any other advice for people as they like get going here? What would you say? Let's go with Heather. What would you say, Heather?
I would say just take advantage of the community. If you want to join the course, the accountability that comes with that, and feeling like you're not alone. Writing is such a solitary thing most of the time. And I'm an introvert, so I'm fine with that. So I didn't expect to like enjoy the community aspect of it as much as I did, but there's some solidarity in that. So I would take advantage of that. And honestly, if you just open yourself up to, don't pre-qualify your writing or your idea or your story, you'll be amazed what you could do in that short period of time even. Yeah.
Really nice. What about you, Gary?
Just keep writing. Yeah, just kind of, it's kind of, I keep writing, but it's also fine to take a day off, if you need that, and kind of just think about stuff and everything. But yeah, just keep writing through, and work, with the community. It's great, and just get feedback. You don't have to finish something to get feedback, which is kind of why I like the idea of the first 10 pages thing.
Yeah,
so that might be a new thing for this year.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. It's a great idea. Short Scripts is awesome. They have a lot of great contests. Yeah. Screencraft has some good ones. Final Draft has one, and of course the Nickel Fellowship is the granddaddy of them all. And then Austin is really, really good as well. What about you, Shenae? What you got for us?
Give yourself grace.
Oh.
So if you're going through something, or if you're struggling in life, it's okay to give yourself grace. Some days I'm just gonna lay here and write in my mind instead of on paper.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And she got it done. So it works. And got it done. And I just love your story. You got it done in a really difficult time in your life, which makes it even more, I don't know, there's more beautiful. It's just so poignant and beautiful. You guys are the best. So there's kind of wish, so you have to go back and watch. I don't know. Let's see. I'll try to figure out a way to get you this recording. I mean, I can get you the recording easily. I'm just not sure you'll be able to see the chat. The chat is going really great. So many lovely comments about everybody. Just right on right on, Gary. So good. Yeah. So I'll answer your questions about the course and stuff in a moment here. I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. I'll get the replay to you so you can watch yourself and how beautiful you are. And it's just always such a pleasure to hang out with you. And thank you so much for joining us today. So